story's not necessarily a new one, but the mere fact nothing's been done about it leaves one to wonder, in light of what has happened in recent months revolving around FIFA, if there is still a chance the 2022 World Cup will go off as planned, and if anybody really does care about the slave labor being used by Qatar to build their soccer stadiums and show off to the rest of the world. Let's begin there. Welcome back. The man who invented the concept of commenting on sports business, the sports professor, Rick Horrow, is in the house. All right, Mr. Horrow, let's go ahead and put on our sports hat here and get to this one, because we got to start serious today for a change. Amnesty International going after the Qatari government. We're talking about 4,000 migrants who could be worked to death building the World Cup stadiums here. Amnesty said matter of fact, every one of the 231 workers it interviewed, some sort of abuse, squalid living conditions, pay below what had been promised, refusing to hand out or renew residence permits. Rick, is this just a case that there's just too much money involved here, and no matter how bad things get, and even if somebody dies, Qatar will still have their World Cup and will still cash in?
Dr. Berliner, this in no way transmits the way I feel. It's just a reality of being alive in the sports business for 900 years. There are a lot of civil and political rights transgressions by everybody, and whether it's FIFA or Olympics, the governing bodies don't feel like they want to use the revocation of a site as a political statement. You could go back to what China has done about the Summer Olympics and the upcoming Winter Olympics, for example. Nobody is immune, you could argue, certainly some of the Russian transgressions. I don't say that to excuse. All I'm suggesting is that if there's a chance to take the games from Qatar, it should be really because of the flawed selection system and the bribery that we know happened at FIFA because of the indictments, and then B, because the game is played in degrees that's going to be 600 degrees, and nobody really wants to change the soccer calendar to the summer and fall and redo it because of a particular event in Qatar. Those two reasons have a chance. The other one, while we really do support it, may be the third and less likely reason.
But are we at least looking at a time, Rick, when, I mean, this is the most egregious that certainly I've ever seen in my career, I know that you've seen as well with regard to human rights abuses, that at least this might make a change, start something so that this doesn't happen again?
Well, you would have thought that the microscope of public scrutiny that follows the selection, and by the way, it's not over, because even if it goes through 2022 and if the event happens, people are going to be a little upset at the conditions of awarding the bid, the process, and also the fact that as it gets warmer in Qatar, people are going to understand that the entire year soccer schedule has changed. So I understand that we have, 6 years until the event. Even if it doesn't move, it ought to be an opportunity to show some significant scrutiny to the point of trying to change it as the world's microscope focuses on Qatar.
Okay, I'll give you that. At least let's hope we start there, because the process where Qatar was given it and the money that transpired, that in itself is another story altogether.
Yeah,
2 minutes left. Let's bring it back home to America here and something a little more friendly. The Los Angeles Rams cut a huge deal here. They get the #1 pick in the NFL draft. Gee, how odd. And they also happen to be debuting in Los Angeles. And gee, Los Angeles wants to make sure that a lot of money is made here. Boy, I'll tell you, this smacks as the perfect business deal, and everybody made this happen.
Well, listen, if you're going to claim that a trade amongst NFL teams is part of a master conspiracy, go ahead. If it is, as a Dolphin fan, we've come out on the wrong end of those, pal, for a number of years. So I think it's more that Stan Kroenke and his folks argue we will do whatever it takes to make sure that people understand that we are not pussyfooting around at the Coliseum for a couple of years while this big new $3 billion stadium is being built. What do? We deal with Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans will now spin that they gave their fans great bargain because of the picks they get in return. It's up to the free market to decide. And by the way, whoever they draft, the point is that Stan Kroenke is making a significant investment in the Rams, the stadium, and everything in between.
45 seconds here. Talk about business deals. Kobe Bryant goes out and knocks down 60 points in his final game. And it appears as if the Rams held off on making this statement until after that game was over. Again, it smacks to me as perfect business. Here goes the guy that a lot of people spend their money to see, and now the Rams are moving right in now that he's gone.
Wouldn't you do that if you were in that situation?
Absolutely. I think it's brilliant.
Conspiracy, it's just good PR. And by the way, we should have had a change of the game that the Warriors had. They eclipsed the Bulls' record, 73 wins. Those happened on the same night. Let me tell you what they both had in common. I'm an old dude. I slept through both.
Which is the bigger story? 15 seconds. The Clippers getting the record-setting win or Kobe doing 60 in his last game? Settle the bet.
Yeah, the Warriors getting that 73rd win, it's huge because but they'll only get to close the deal if they win the NBA championship. People look back at Kobe as a once-in-a-generation player retiring. So I'm firmly committed to both answers. How's that?
I can hear screaming from the control room right now from our NBA producer who is going, no, it's Kobe. But that's okay. We'll let you slide on this one. Professor, always a pleasure, my friend. Be good. Rick Horrow, thanks a lot for joining us, buddy. How important is it for members of the American military to adhere to a strict dress code? That is next on Telling It Like It Is, right here on The Hard Line. And now this commercial announcement. More than 80 million Americans make up the baby boom generation, and astoundingly, most have done little planning for their retirement. The Baby Boomer Survival Guide has been released to help boomers and others prepare for retirement. This guide is filled with money-saving tips and valuable advice to grow and protect your wealth and your health. Take a look. If you're 50 years of age or older, please listen. Da Vinci's Baby Boomer Survival Guide gives you hundreds of tips and strategies that grow your income. Da Vinci's Baby Boomer Survival Guide reveals how to increase your monthly Social Security checks by 25%, 8 tax deductions that immediately save you $10,000 or more, Medicare tricks that get you 100% of your premiums, co-payments, and drug costs waived, 2 easy ways to turn your home into a tax-free cash machine, the 10 best places to live for under $40,000 a year, 4 strategies to transfer your estate completely tax-free, plus dozens more money secrets just like these. Newsmax says the Baby Boomer Survival Guide is your ultimate money book, a #1 bestseller. Da Vinci's Baby Boomer Survival Guide is at bookstores everywhere. Or get this book with our free offer and save $20. Go to newsmax.com/boomer411 or call 800-592-8639. That number again is 800-592-8639.